Hi all viewers, this is a video I've been meaning to make for a while now, and it's just a overall on community aquarium and the fish. As you can see, this is a tropical aquarium stocked with a vast amount of breeds, from approximately an inch up to 3 roughly. Also, I have tried to adapt bottom, mid and top eaters in some words, as meaning the 3 basic layers which will fulfill the whole entire aquarium, which results to a friendly environment and a little bit space for each individual, as well as all fish getting food when it comes to feeding. So this is a 4-foot aquarium by approximately 2-foot width. The plant in the left corner is the only plastic plant in the aquarium, but other than that, the rest of the plants are all real and very easy to maintain. Okay, let's start off with the plants because I mentioned them. The 3 at the front, close towards each other, are known as Malaysian swords. They are easy to get hold of, nothing too rare or exotic. And the plant at the back with the tallest height, with the leaf just near the heater, is the American Amazon swords. It was a coincidence that I got them sounding the names as swords for both of them. I just love the shape of the leaves, and I asked if they were hardy enough, and they ticked my boxes. And the one under the filter, I truly don't know, and that is because I have forgotten. It's a really long scientific name which was on the packaging, but I will hope to find out, and maybe if I get the chance, put it in the description. And the reason for choosing that specific plant is actually because I was looking to get one of them for at least 4 or 5 months. It's not the usual plant in all pet shops. It's just the leaves which really interested me. They're really thick and hard, really strong in its branches, its roots, just really firm plant overall. I mean, some you can get which will get blown away by the current of the filter, but it's just seemed to have established in where I have placed it. I remember seeing one of them many years ago, and the leaf, each individual leaf was approximately a palm size, and now thinking about it, it must have been approximately over 5 years old. I mean, that itself is close to 2.5 years. So actually, if that's 2 years, the plant that I seen years ago must be over 5 then, because the leaves aren't getting as big as I see, but that's that anyway. So let's start off with the bottom feeders then. The reason why I wanted to share these fish is because hopefully you guys learn something from each individual species, and as well, if you like the look, the way each fish swims, or it's just interests you in any way, by my description you could always look them up and search them for yourself to add to your home aquarium. So beginning with the bottom feeders, I have a glass shrimp there somewhere. I did have two, but I lost one after many months. I did notice eggs in her tummy, because they're obviously pretty much transparent, as the name suggests. Glass shrimp, you could pretty much see straight through the body. I just can't spot it actually, whilst I can see it, but I just don't want to move the camera. But you could search it up, and it's been absolutely great. Really hardy. It doesn't really bother any other fish, and does feed off the scraps, pellets, flakes that does sink to the bottom. Few times through the week I will put sinking pellets in for specifically the bottom feeders, but at the end everyone has a nibble. So I did have two glass shrimps, and one passed away. I lost one approximately 2 years ago. So the one I have in there will be approximately 2.5, I guess, and it's only 2 inches. I would suggest any shrimps with community fish, unless you wish to breed in the aquarium, because they may crawl to the eggs or even to the live bearers if they just sat at the bottom. One in mind, the mountain shrimp, I wouldn't really advise in a community aquarium. I mean, it does have its own space and does its own thing, but if any fish do get close to its claws, it will actually just stick to it and slowly eat it alive. You could search it up. It's much larger than the glass shrimp. You could easily get one approximately 3 inches, and they'll grow up to at least 4.5 inch. And driftwood is recommended for them, but that's another story. You could search that up. It's called the mountain shrimp. Cherry shrimp and other fancy coloured shrimps in that category are available, and is very much suitable for community fish. When I mean community, I mean small species which have a green label in any pet store, which will overall get on with each other. That's the definition of a community aquarium. So that is that. The second fish, which I have two of, is the flying fox, which you can see at the bottom with the black stripe through its body, from its nose right up to the end fin. Also with the flying fox, of course, it will be a community friendly fish. You could get other species which get a little bit bigger and can chase off other fish, but it's not a huge threat. There they go. But overall, the flying fox is very friendly, minds its own bother, and doesn't really get in anybody's way. The great bottom feeding fish, referring to eating the leftover food, but I would rate a low review on the algae, which they have a lack of control of. I don't think algae is a huge diet for them. I mean, personally, in my aquarium, I do have to put a sponge in every other month to take the algae off the glass. Some fish, like the sucking loaches, another one which you could research, a great fish which constantly will be on the glass looking for algae nearly all day and night, as well as the plaque. You could also search that particular fish up too. The plaque, in another hand, the common plaque, is the much cheaper selection from the breed, but grows to a vast size, approximately over 10-15 inches easily in the matter of 4 or 5 years. Again, depending on diet, but they are a medium to large size fish, but as babies they're fine. But that again is another topic which isn't to my aquarium, so I wouldn't go in too deep with that. But yeah, so I've got the one glass shrimp and the two flying fox. They are, even though they're bottom feeders, they actually come up when I'm feeding the rest, to get a quick snatch before it all finishes, I guess. So there they are, the two at the front. I actually got them together, and they were the only two in the aquarium left. I believe someone must have exchanged them, or maybe just give them in, as people do. So I found them in this tank with multiple different types of fish, but he didn't even have a tag for them two. I asked him for them, and he's actually a very close friend to my family's business, and he actually told me, what do you think they're worth? So I actually told him, cheeky of me, I said 2 for £5, and easily they're around £7 to £9 each, depending on which store you go. Everyone has their own rate and works on their own profit margin percentage. So but the price that I told him, it just reminds me of years ago when I used to look after fish in my teenage years, and pretty much majority of the fish, medium sized, were 2 for £5, garawamis, sawtails, etc. Going off track, but yeah, that's them. And moving up a notch to the mid section of the aquarium, I have multiple groups, schools of fish, beginning with black neons, which are here. I have cherry barbs too in the middle. I have platies at the end. I've got the one molly, which is a top feeder. I will get to him in a moment. But I guess the platies are classed as top feeders too, so I will ignore them too. So black neons, which are there. Then there are the neon tetras with them too. I also have 3 cardinal tetras, very similar fish. The red stripe that goes beneath the blue is actually all the way through with the cardinal, whereas with the neon it stops just before the stomach. That's the only difference. Well, there is a bit more different in the way they swim, the way they eat. Of course they're a different breed, but by looks, and as well cardinals will get slightly bigger. There they are. But yeah, neons I would highly recommend in an aquarium full of mixed community fish, as they are easy to get hold of, really cheap, and they look great together. You do buy them in groups or a small shoal from a minimum of 4 to as much as you want. The one fish which like to learn from each other, to find food with each other, and just to relax with each other when the days goes by. Whereas if you get just the one, they will be stressed and their behavior will change, which is unbelievable, because as fish in shoals they actually do develop and learn from each other, which makes them stunning as they are when they are together. Speaking of them, look at that. I did tell them to be on their best behavior, by the way. Before I did get the camera, I said, right guys, big smiles, behave, and no flirting just yet. So that was the cardinal and neons. The food that they do eat preferably would be flakes, only because they have really small mouths, and the flexibility and the material flakes are made out of, they break easily, which suits the bite-sized pieces for the fish as much as any other small fish. I actually crush pellets and mix that with the flakes too, just so I could give a variety of nutrients to them. But that's them, the blue and red at the front. I have a honey garwami which is coming out at the bottom near the flying fox, and the whole reason I chose the honey garwami is because they don't grow as big as other garwamis do. It is actually a breed from a really big freshwater fish, and after breeding years and years from it, of course breeders will want to specifically target colors on the fish, and one today is known as the honey garwami, which is just at the top, going up to the surface now and coming back down. Garwamis are overall a amber, a little territorial as they get older, but with it being the size it is, again, it doesn't cause a huge threat to the rest of the aquarium. Great fish. I mean, it moves up and down wherever food goes, it will be there. unfortunately it's just not coming out as yet, as it's just exploring the leaves and the beautiful designs each leaf offers. That's another stunning appearance of the honey garwami. It likes to be in between plants. There it is coming at the front. If you look at the bottom, there it is near the pebble, and out and off again. Yes, as I was saying, it's a fish which prefers or doesn't mind to go through plants, through leaves, which I think becomes a really appealing fish to view, and just to appreciate the individual, because not only is it fascinating to see a similar natural look or a glance of how it would, but it's just really nice to see it beside plants, as the colours from green and other similar colours in the aquarium kind of just contrast with the colour of the fish itself. It's a lovely mixed coloured glance once you do catch that, whereas other fish doesn't really choose to look around for food or explore in plants, as they feel a slight threat. It's just a natural behaviour. You may not have threat in the aquarium, but they just don't prefer it. That's one unique thing I've noticed. But that's the honey garwami. Feeding wise, whatever will fit in its mouth, to be honest. You could feed it from small pellets to flakes, but as I say, I like to give a variety of mixed food, so it has a bit of everything. And when I refer mixed food, I mean I have separate containers of flakes, pellets, various size pellets, from bottom feeding pellets to sticks, and what I do, I like to crush it, a bit of everything, and feed them together, just to boost all the nutrients the food has to offer. So yeah, that is that. So moving up a notch, I would highlight the Rominos, which is on top of the last plant, moving up to the middle. Why it's called the Rominos is because of its red patch on its face, with the zebra patterned tail at the back. I did have a few more, unfortunately I did lose them, leaving the one oversized fish. Great shoaling fish, really friendly, and again doesn't bother anything. No interest with any other fish, just likes to do its own thing. Again, when I mean doesn't have much interest, I mean it doesn't really rise a threat to any other fish. It will school with the other tetras, but I actually need to get some more because it's just not fair how it is now. I will try to zoom in. There it is, a better look for you guys. This is my first video, so I hope I will upgrade my gear, and maybe my planning of each stage of the video will be clearer or better established. I'm just actually taking my first shot with this, But yeah, that's the Ruminos. Great looking fish, really appealing, and that is an adult, so it wouldn't really get as bigger than that. And as well, you can see the honey garawami at a better view by zooming in at the bottom with the flying foxes. So moving up to mid to top swimming fish, we have the male molly, which is at the top. A great first guide of fish keeping, as they are not only hardy but really attractive, always active in the aquarium, making it appealing to look at. I mean, that's the whole point of maintaining a fish tank, is so you can relax and view your fish. You don't want something that will be right at the back, dull, and doesn't really do anything, unless you're enthused about oddballs or catfish or any fish which suits the description as I mentioned. But as an open aquarium full of community fish, this is what the fish has to offer. It's vibrant colors, fish darting in each angle, and just all getting along. So that's the molly at the back. I did have a female. I did want to breed them, but the female wasn't giving in, and I believe the reason for that is because the aquarium that I did purchase them from, the female was the only girl in the aquarium with approximately 5 or 8 boys, and I just think the attitude and behavior changed for them, whereas if it was a mix, then I would have had better results, and that's only in my opinion. I hope to get another female, but it's only been a few weeks since I lost her, so it is on my list. Again, great fish. They are available in mixed colors, from pure black, pure white, to a mix of black and white, which is known as the Dalmatian, red, orange, you can get fancier breeds where the back tail is much longer than how it is, known as the lyre tail, I believe. But it's just whatever suits your choice. We also have the platies, which like to swim with the molly. Very, very close fish in their behavior. There's 3 at the back. The one with the red tail is a male. The red, which is chasing off the orange, is a male, which he is chasing off a girl. When I mean chasing off, probably just wanting to know her. I actually did get more girls than boys, as it's compulsory, because the males can get aggressive with the ratio of having more men than girls. You will want approximately 3 girls to 1 boy. It's just the way they like it, I guess. It does make sense to me. I'm actually married, and that was a joke, mainly to my wife. If she's seeing this, I do love you, and I don't prefer another 2 more ladies. But yeah, again, let's not go off track. The platies themselves are great stunning fish, really vibrant in colors, majority being a really strong orange. The ones that I have are known as the Mickey Mouse tailed mollies, which kind of shows the face of Mickey Mouse in the tail, being a black dot with 2 small dots at the top. Again, bred for that specific look. It's crazy when you look into it, to each choice of breeding and the individual of the breeds which you have interest in. You can just go in and in and in, and that is because of the breeders across the world just experimenting. They are towards the top, but that doesn't mean they won't come down. They actually cover the whole aquarium, like majority of the rest of the guys, but the class that I mentioned isn't the names I chose, is an overall guidance into aquarium fish, which are classed in top, middle and bottom feeding sections. Excuse me. Only to understand where they do best, that's all. So yeah, I have 2 males and 3 females. I would highly recommend them, similar to the molly, as they show great great appearances again. I mean, how can I describe them? They're just always active, always at the front of the glass, which really does look good. It's just probably because they're trying to get the girls' attentions and the girls are running away. It's probably that. But no, they are truly a top class fish and overall active. With them, I have 2 female guppies, which you can see one darting off to the top, which was at the bottom, just to show there that not only they are class to each individual sector, but they do like to mix.